Hello everyone, this is Steven from the Even Steven channel, and today we are taking a look at the Kalashnikov USA KR-9. We're going to talk about what exactly that means, what it is, what it isn't. On top of that, this is also an assault weapon ban legal firearm. We'll get into that too. And we're going to start off with the box that this comes in. Kalashnikov USA should be acknowledged for putting their firearms, shipping their firearms in a reasonably good box. That should be a normal thing that everyone does, but when manufacturers do it, I will acknowledge that. It is a little bit of a pet peeve for me. So I actually don't really use this box anymore because it is a little bit big. It's probably made for all the Kalashnikov USA guns, all the AKs and shotguns and all this, so it's a little big. And there isn't a whole lot in here. This is actually not even a manual. This is actually more like accessories and merchandise stuff. You know, I don't think there is a manual. I don't see it. It wasn't in here. I'm gonna double check. I don't know. If it did come with it, I don't have it. It's basically just a gun, a couple magazines, this little bit of warranty stuff, merchandise stuff, and a cover for the charging handle, which I kind of forgot about. So, just showing it because that's what it comes in. What I tend to keep the rifle in these days is this Allen Tactical soft case. Just a little easier to carry around. I have the Kalashnikov USA little morale patch on here. I could fit a bunch of magazines. I could fit 2, 4, 6, 8 here. I could fit 2 over there, and this little side thing. This is actually very nice. It lets you carry the gun, and a lot of magazines are a relatively compact package. So, take a couple of these out. Open up the bag. And finally, it's been a couple minutes, we have the Kalashnikov USA KR-9. Now this one has been kind of personalized by me, and I'll get into exactly what I did to make it, you know, what I thought was good for me. Make sure it's not loaded. Hit the camera while I do that, which I often do. Yeah, this is it. Let's get a good look at everything. You know, fake suppressor, 16-inch barrel. This has a wood furniture on it. We'll get to that later. No, you know, scope mount on the side. You have the Picatinny on top. Swing, swivel loop here. Sling loop here. I have it over here. It's also on the left side. Grip, what should be a folding stock. We'll get there. So this is the Kalashnikov USA KR-9. Where are the markings? Let's get the markings out of the way before I forget. Where are they on this gun? I didn't take a look beforehand. I mean, all I'm seeing is KUSA right there. I'm not even sure where the serial number is. Maybe we'll find it as I go through the gun. Not there. But this is the Kalashnikov USA KR-9. So what is that? Well, trying to make a long story short, there's the Russian submachine gun called the VTS, which looks very much like this. Close, except it's basically the barrel ends right there. And the Russians seem to like it. And on top of that, they also have the Kr9, which is the civilian legal version of the VTS for civilians in Russia. Now, Kalashnikov USA has bought the licensing rights to make that gun here in the United States. So this is basically the American version of the Kr9, but most people will call it the VTS or the KR-9. You can also get this as a pistol. This is a rifle with a 16-inch barrel. You can get it as a pistol, or you can get it as an SBR. I think the pistols are pretty fun. I'm sure they're pretty common, but this is the rifle. So we're going to go back to front, and we're going to talk about the parts of this gun. I mentioned before, this is a New Jersey legal assault weapon ban legal gun. I'm going to talk about exactly how that is, and even though, yeah, this looks like a Kr9, you know, looks like it. How is this an assault weapon ban legal gun? Well, we'll get there. Guess we'll start with the folding stock, and which I will say this is not a folding stock. So this is basically the California model. You can't really buy a New Jersey model. You buy the regular one, or you buy the California model. So that's what you get. And normally you should be able to push down on this, flip it over, and lock the stock forward. You can't. The California model is permanently fixed. Can't move it. So this stock, unfortunately, can't be folded. Makes a very sturdy stock, though. Very sturdy. I'll get that. Now this catch right here is supposed to fold and lock into that. Doesn't do it. So it's a AK-74 type triangular stock. It's not quite the same as an AK-74. Similar, though. Let's see. We'll move forward for the pistol grip. So I told you this is the California model, and when this came in, it had like this weird thing, this fin thing. This is California. Had this, and I think it had like a thumb rest over here. I don't know. This is all weird. I think I would just take that thumb rest off. And the way you would use this is you kind of go like this. Instead of wrapping your hand around the pistol grip, you go like that. And I don't often say this, but fortunately I don't live in California. I live in New Jersey, and this is just kind of ridiculous. So I did buy the authentic, or more authentic, Kr9 grip, and I did have it on there for a while. But I was like, you know what? This can take any AK grip. So I got some kind of surplus Romanian something Bakelite grip, and I just like the way that looks. So the Kr9 grip is fine. It's not wrong. It's correct, but I just decided to put that on there. So what else we got here? Well, so this is an AK, and it's not. The receiver itself has been shortened about 1 inch. If you ever shoot an AK, they feel kind of long. The AKs are really long in the receiver. So when the Vitiaz Saiga 9 was developed, they made this a blowback operated gun. And when they made it a blowback operated gun, it didn't have locking lugs, so they said, hey, we can shave a whole inch off the receiver because we don't need it. And they did. So it looks like an AK, not quite. It doesn't have a gas system. It's a blowback gun. But we still have the AK selector here. We have the AK style charging handle here. Told you we have the Picatinny rail on top. We got the AK style sights. Rear sight here, front sight there. I put whatever cheapo Amazon red dot I could find. And it actually works pretty well. Was that Piney? P-I-N-E-Y. Works pretty well, actually. This is a Streamlight light that I had lying around, and I got a Blackhawk mount kind of offset to the side, because there isn't a whole lot of room to put lights and lasers on here. I mean, you could do it, but I don't know, I think it looks better with the wood. Speaking of the wood, this is not what it came with. The furniture it came with, again, I guess I keep changing things on here, was this. So you got the black lower handguard and the black upper handguard, plastic. Blank handguard. Plastic. There's nothing wrong with this. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly functional. But I was like, yeah, that looks pretty nice. So the upper handguard is AK-M, AK-74 straight. You just put whatever you want on there. The lower handguard is a problem. This part right here, I think, is a lot smaller than an AK-74 or AK-M. So I had to do a lot of work fitting this on. And I got it when it was just right, just tight enough on there. And over time, this is kind of loosened up. So I'm about to shim that up a little bit somehow. However, it just looks so nice. It looks so nice. This isn't correct for the Vitiaz, but it just looks so nice. Front sight. This is a 16-inch barrel. The barrel comes up right up to here. This is the fake suppressor you put on there. So it adds a little bit of weight, but I thought it looked nice. Thought it looked cool. I mean, this part of it is just looking cool. So there's not a whole lot going on this side. Let's talk about the magazines. The magazines are proprietary to the Vitiaz. Saiga 9, Kalashnikov USA KR-9, and Kalashnikov USA makes these. So they make the whole gun, everything here in the United States, as far as I could tell. And this is MP5-like, not quite. It's double stack, double feed, which makes it very easy to load. You just pop in cartridges like this. You don't have to try all that hard, like an AR-15. And when you put this in the gun, and the magazine's loaded, there's going to be a lot of resistance. So you really got to jam, when it's unloaded, it's fine. When you put it in there, you got to really shove it in, or even just kind of smack it with your hand to make sure it goes in all the way. And this is a 10-round magazine. Unfortunate. Consider how big it is. 10-round magazine. It's part of the assault weapon ban. So, part of the assault weapon ban is New Jersey basically has the 1994 assault weapon ban on the books. And basically you're allowed one assault weapon ban feature, and basically we all default to the pistol grip. So you can't have a folding stock, can't have a bayonet lug, which it doesn't have, can't have a grenade launcher, alright. Can't have a threaded barrel. This has been pinned in place. This cannot be removed easily. So this is not removable. Normally you would simply push on this, which does actually move. It does move, but it's been pinned in place somehow. It might have been pinned right there. So this will not come off. It's actually on there pretty solidly. So because I have no threaded barrel, no grenade launcher, no bayonet lug, no folding stock, this is 100% New Jersey legal as far as I know. And back to the magazines. The magazines work great. These are great magazines. Easy to load. Never had any problems with these. These are good. The only downside with these magazines, they are expensive. About $40 each. But they're really good. 9x19. I don't know if I actually mentioned this. This is a 9mm gun. And this gun likes Tula 9mm. It's basically made for it. I mean, literally made for it. There are certain packages you can get from Kalashnikov USA where they actually put this in the package. They actually send it to you. This gun likes dirty, I don't say dirty, but cheap steel-cased ammo. It's made for it. Literally made for it. And that's what I feed it. I put regular brass ammo in there one time, and it was it's a little bit gassy. A little too much gas coming out of here. It's not terrible, but it's made for the Tula ammo, and that's what I put in there. So let's do a little bit of a field strip. And one of the things I didn't realize when you do a field strip is you basically are supposed to push this up first. So you don't, the top cover hinges up, so you don't smack into that and scratch up your top cover, which I have done. And like an AK, I'm going to push here, push there, and it's not quite the same. But there we go. You can look inside, you see it's very AK-like. A lot of the parts are slightly different than AK. The stock is a little bit different than AK. The grip is interchangeable, but a little bit different. I think the trigger group, that's basically semi-auto AK. This recoil spring is similar, but a little bit different. Looks similar, but has a little bit of a different shape here at the back. I'm going to pull this out, and this is very, very much different than an AK. This is a single-piece blowback operated gun. Normally in an AK you have like a two-piece that comes out. Now this is just one piece. This is bigger and like simpler. And what the people who designed this gun, I guess that's Ishmash or Reshevs, who originally designed this gun, is they decided, well, we'll just use this spot right here. We'll leave this here. This doesn't do anything. This doesn't tap off gas like a regular AK. This is just a space where you can put mass for the bolt. A very ingenious way to reuse, kind of keeping the AK style, but repurposing that area for something else. Very smart, very smart. This is not simply just an AK that was adapted to be 9mm. It was from the ground up made with a different receiver. And I kind of didn't mention it, but it should be pretty obvious that this is not a standard AK magazine well. Basically, you have a plastic housing that's been put here. Got the magazine release here. This is kind of riveted on. This piece right here is plastic. So I make sure it's in frame properly. And it all works very well. Flip that back up. The hand guards come off like a regular AK. You take the bolt out and you just push this up, and this will come out, and then that will come out. And have the hinge there, the lever there too. So this comes apart pretty much like an AK once you get the bolt out. Anything else worth mentioning? I got like I mentioned before, I got the I keep messing this up, Sling loop here, but it also comes on the left side. You might be looking at this like, why is all this stuff on the right side? So now we're going to get into shooting. I think I described the gun enough. Talk about shooting. This is a fantastic shooting gun. It's very soft. And you might be like, well, you know, it's a 9mm blowback. Sometimes 9mm blowback guns aren't that fun to shoot. Get like a Kel-Tec Sub 2000. That is not fun to shoot. That gun has a strange recoil impulse. This is fun to shoot. I was shooting this next to my AR-15. This is, even though an AR-15 doesn't have a lot of recoil, this has even less. I can shoot this very fast. What I like to do is set up a target at 15 yards with multiple, you know, piece of paper with multiple targets on it, and I'll just transition from, I'll shoot 1 or 2, and then transition 1 or 2, and I move all over that target at 15 yards. It's so fun, and it's so fast with that red dot. That red dot works very well, even though it's like a $20 red dot. The gun is so fun to shoot. I can't really overstate how enjoyable it is to shoot this gun. I really like it. Now, but it is an AK, and you got all the controls on the right side here. Got the charging handle here, got the safety here. I guess the magazine release is ambidextrous, but you have all the controls on the left side, on the right side. So I kind of just started shooting it left-handed. That's kind of why it's been sitting this way it has. I shoot the gun left-handed. I do reloads right-handed. That's how I run it. Otherwise, you're doing like the AK reach around, where you have to like reach around, you know, reach around with your hand. Because modern shooting doctrine is that we keep our hands on the, we keep our firing hand on the grip at all times and do everything else. So I just practice left-handed. It's the only gun I do this with. I like the gun enough that I'm willing to practice left-handed to get good at it. And I think I'm pretty good with this gun. I haven't really done far accuracy tests because it is a 9mm rifle. I consider it a close range gun anyway, but 15 yards, it is incredibly fun, incredibly fast, incredibly accurate. I just love it. Now, you say, well, you know, I really do want to shoot this gun right-handed. There is an upgrade you can get, and I do have it. This is the MP5 style charging handle. And what this does is this will kind of replace the upper hand guard. You can put it right there. And basically you can run the gun like an MP5. So you yank back on the charging handle, and this is going to push on the bolt. And you push it back, and you can charge the gun that way, or you can lock it up. It does work. First of all, it's not cheap. It's like $150 for this part. Just this part, it's like $150. Like, what? But I feel like you really got to yank on that, because you're kind of creating a linkage. You got to go from this handle. This is going to push. See, it's just this thing that slides. That's all it's doing. This, you're pushing on this handle. This pushes on that. That pushes on the bolt. That pushes back. You're kind of creating a linkage, an additional linkage that wasn't there before. So you really got to pull on it, especially when the hammer is down, because you got to push the hammer back. It's even more resistance. So you just really got to yank it. And after a while, I was like, you know what? I don't want this anymore. I took it off. Now, I said the gun's very fun to shoot. It is. It's very enjoyable to shoot. Very cheap to shoot. You can get this cheaper Tula ammo for like, I don't know, around $15 a box. Very affordable to shoot. And I just bought like a case of it, and I'm really glad I did. You know, Russian guns are fighting the Russians. Why not? So, the only thing I haven't touched on is reliability. And this gun has been 100% reliable in about 1,000 rounds, because I bought like a case of it a while ago. I've had this gun for over a year. I bought it November of 2020. There we had an election that year, and it didn't seem like it was going the way I wanted it to go. Won't touch on that too much, but November 2020 seemed like a really good time to buy a firearm, and I did. And I've had this gun since then, and I've been enjoying it. It's been 100% reliable. I don't think I've ever had any issues with this gun at all. Yeah, so definitely recommended. Now, it is an AK. It has, ergonomically, it's not as good as an AR-15. You gotta do something. You gotta go overhanded or underhanded, or you gotta shoot it left-handed. But you know, that aside, the quirkiness, because this is a very close reproduction of the VTS submachine gun of the Kr9, because it is that it inherits all the AK attributes that, for better or worse, take an ergonomic hit. However, once you get past that, the gun is fantastic. You know, if you didn't have the version I have, when you have the folding stock, that makes it more compact. When you have 30-round magazines, and these magazines, they go quick. Anyone who has a Kalashnikov USA KR-9, I can't imagine I'm the only person. Those magazines, particularly mine, are 10 rounds, but those magazines go quick. The gun likes to be shot, and likes to be shot fast. So as I'm sitting here, let's see, this is about 20 minutes we're in. Is there anything else I could talk about the gun? I guess we could talk about what is it good for. I mean, first and foremost, if you ever wanted a VTS submachine gun, this is obviously the gun for you. It's a great range gun. Is it like a home defense gun? Yeah, I guess you could, you know, like an AK, you can accessorize it what you want, and 9mm is a good cartridge. You know, you have that 16-inch barrel that will get it going a little faster than a handgun. It's not the worst idea ever. It's not ideal. Is it a competition gun? There might be some PCC class competitions that I might do well in. You know, I'm just going to win, because it might be a little slow on the reloads, but it's a really fun gun to shoot. Is it like a without will of law, defensive fighting rifle? Yeah, you know, it's made for it. It's kind of made for it. I guess the only other thing I could say is that might be negative is the price. It's an expensive gun. It's over let's see, around $1,000. But then the magazines are not cheap. I mean, once you get it all done, you know, the ammo's kind of cheap. So once you're all set up, you're set up. But the gun's kind of expensive. The magazines are expensive. The accessories can maybe be a little expensive. By the way, I didn't mention this sling is what I think this is what Kalashnikov USA recommends. So it's whatever their sling is. This is whatever they recommend. This is like a is a 2-point to single-point sling. You can switch it off, do whatever you want to do. So this is their sling. It's on their website. So what I'm getting at is it worth the price? And that's kind of dependent on you, because you can get something like a Ruger PC carbine for like less than half. You can get a Ruger PC carbine for like $500-600. Buy a bunch of Glock mags, and it's probably just as good as this. However, it's not as cool. So that's the thing. It's not as cool. It's the truth. You want something cool, want something fun, get a Kalashnikov USA KR-9. Hello everyone, I'm back. I don't know what that was. I went to edit this video. I do very minor editing on my videos because I don't feel like doing all that work. For whatever reason, the very end of the video was cut off. However, there wasn't a whole lot left for me to say. But as I was doing some of that editing work, I figured out where some of the information is on the gun, because I was looking around like, I don't see it. Where is it? It's underneath the trigger guard. So it's very well hidden. Kalashnikov USA, Pompano Beach, Florida, KR-9 9x19, and the serial number. Sorry, that was slightly off there. I moved as I was looking at it directly. But there was not a whole lot left for me to say other than I didn't know what the serial number was. I think before the video got cut off, I was basically just saying, hey, you know, is this gun right for you? Well, it's kind of expensive. You know, if you're willing to live with it, it is. You know, if you're willing to live with its quirks as a Kalashnikov type gun, if you're willing to live with the expense of it, you know, there are other things that are just as good, if not better, at a lower price point. So, however, if this is the gun for you, I can definitely recommend it. There's nothing wrong with it. It is what it's supposed to be. So, it is exactly what it's supposed to be. It is a civilian legal American made reproduction of the Kalashnikov USA KR-9. If that's what you want, then this is what you got. So this will be Steven from the Even Steven channel, recommended Kalashnikov USA KR-9. Please do all that like, sharing, and subscribing. If you have any questions, I think there will probably be some questions for this one. This is kind of it's a bit of a weird one. So any questions you have, I will try to answer as best I can. And I will see you next time. Thank you, and goodbye.